Good morning, I am Holly and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I put out a couple videos already just testing the waters with a vlog and then a race recap, but today I want to do a Q&A where I'm going to cover everything about who I am, where I live, what I do for work that helps give context to this channel, and most importantly I want to talk about why I started it. Let's get started. I am 29 years old. I grew up in Northern Virginia. I then lived a year in Princeton, New Jersey, went to undergrad in Salt Lake City, Utah, then moved to San Francisco after school, and finally I am here in Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up dancing very seriously, so from age 4 I was in a ballet studio training. It only got more serious as time went on, and I actually went up to Princeton, New Jersey for my senior year to train at a very small ballet studio. I went on to undergrad at the University of Utah. They have a great ballet program. I was able to train there. And then I went on to San Francisco where I did freelance contemporary ballet for about 4 years. Now, San Francisco is a very expensive city, so dancing was not paying the bills alone. I had to get a few extra jobs, so one of which was a host job at a downtown wine bar in San Francisco called Press Club. And that was a really big learning experience for me, dealing with all types of people, learning a lot about wine, which I feel like now has become a great life skill to have, especially at parties or social situations. I also worked at the front desk of a dance center to get work exchange for classes. So basically I would work at the front desk and then get to take class for free, which was a big part of freelancing in San Francisco in the dance scene. You have to be training on your own outside of your usual work and rehearsals. I also started picking up a few hours a week at the Run Experience. Now this was towards the end of my time dancing, but I had met the founders of this company. It's an online running training company at my CrossFit gym at the time, which is where I was doing my workouts. 2016, 2017 was the period where things really started to transition for me. I remember feeling a sense of urgency to really kind of drill down on one thing. And as you can tell, I had spread myself pretty thin across a few different jobs and felt like I was giving everything about 30%. And I really didn't like it that way because I didn't feel like I was excelling or going anywhere in any one direction. And while I would have loved to just be dancing, and that was always the goal, the way that I was doing it freelance, which is very common in San Francisco, especially for contemporary dancers, it takes a lot of time auditioning and taking class, which most of that stuff doesn't pay you anything. So you have to kind of start making choices. I started to come to terms with the fact that I was going to take the projects I wanted to take, keep taking the people's classes I wanted to take, but outside of that, I was going to dedicate myself to really getting serious about the Run Experience job. I was actually starting to get in front of the camera more and film with them, and then I started to coach on the channel, whereas before I was kind of just doing some customer service stuff. And I started to grow a real passion for really diving into this one area of expertise. So learning more about coaching runners and also just connecting with them online. I have always been a muscular, broad body type, and growing up doing classical ballet training, I was made well aware of that. I remember being told so many different things, and not necessarily derogatory, but very black and white about, this is what a prima ballerina looks like, this is what you look like. So whatever you can do to get closer to this, you should. Specifically, I remember in undergrad, we would have one-on-one meetings, and I was told, you know, if you can lean out, less muscle in the legs, let's try to like really smooth things down. You know, your dancing is great, like everything's going well with that, but this would help if you did that. And I got obsessive as a result. So I would go to the gym while we'd be in rehearsals and classes for 8 hours a day at least, if not longer. And outside of that, I would go to the gym for 2 hours, get on the Stairmaster, the elliptical, do abs, run around the track inside. I hired a personal trainer 3 times a week outside of my rehearsals and classes. I got really, really addicted. Sometimes I would go twice in a day to the gym outside of dance. And It provided some results. I think I was seeing myself thin out. I got really serious about what I was eating and when I was eating it. I was living in a sorority house at the time, so I started just doing all my own grocery shopping, not what was shopped for the house, but just doing everything on my own. But I started to realize I was spending so much extra time just trying to keep weight off to be, the dance body that they needed me to be. It's a senior year of college and my routine is fully dialed in. I'm auditioning a lot for dance jobs and all of that. I start to notice that I'm plateauing with my progress on my body. So I had been doing the same thing over and over, and I kind of noticed that nothing was really changing anymore. I was kind of just staying where I was, and I wanted a little bit more than that. At that time, I started hearing about CrossFit from a lot of people actually, one of which was my dad, who was doing a government contract job in Afghanistan. All the guys on the military base he was working on were doing CrossFit. So he would explain that they were doing these really short, crazy workouts, and they were obsessed with it. He said it was like a cult following. At the same time, my two best friends from my sorority also found a CrossFit gym in Salt Lake, and they had started trying it out, and they were telling me how awesome the community aspect of it was. It didn't take a lot of convincing for me to try it. I went to one class with those friends, and I promise you I was hooked from that very first class, no doubt about it. Awesome coach, great people next to me doing these workouts. You could tailor it however you needed to, modify things you weren't good at yet. And I just remember getting my ass kicked in a way that it didn't feel like it was hard work. It didn't feel, scary. And I remember I started to look forward to my CrossFit workouts more than dance rehearsals at that point. I saw my body changing like crazy, the most it ever had, and I was having fun doing it. So I couldn't believe those two were happening at the same time. Like, I was looking forward to class every single day. Back to San Francisco, I knew that CrossFit was going to be a big community that I would need in a new city. So I found a good CrossFit gym at San Francisco CrossFit. For the first month that I moved there, I met Nate and Craig, the founders of the Run Experience, through that gym. As I started to transition to full-time with them, I also decided to get certified as a personal trainer. So I took the National Academy of Sports Medicine exam, passed it, and started working with clients in person in San Francisco as well. So I was kind of coaching on all fronts, and I was also learning a bunch about the business side of the Run Experience. So I took a big handle on the content marketing side of things, handled our blog. I started doing customer service and learning about the integrations of, the first time someone sees our video all the way through where they buy into our product and subscribe and become a full-fledged member of our training programs. So cut to present day, I have been living in Nashville, Tennessee since June of 2020. And this happened all because of a conversation with my mom on a bench right on the Marina Green in San Francisco, summer of 2019. It was August, I believe. We had a conversation about kind of if I was happy living where I was. From job stuff to cost of living to future plans of wanting to own a home, have a family. I realized that San Francisco didn't have what I needed it to have anymore, and I was feeling confident enough to maybe make a change. So we talked about where I might live. It came down to Austin versus Nashville, and I visited both, and within 24 hours of being in Nashville, I was absolutely certain this was the spot. From the business aspect, there's so much opportunity here, to the people, everyone being generally so nice and welcoming, and it having a new atmosphere that I really wasn't used to. So all of those things combined, I decided to take a risk and move across the country, only knowing one person here this past June in 2020. Here in Nashville, I'm still working for the Run Experience. I am training my personal training clients, and I have now started this YouTube channel. So stick around to the end where I'm gonna talk about what this channel is gonna be for. I have one sibling, my sister Jen. We are best friends. I like her more than anyone in this world. And my parents live in Northern Virginia, so I get to see them a lot. We've always been a close family. We've had difficult times here and there, I'm sure, like any family has, but at the end of the day, we are best friends. We know everything about each other, which is the best. Jen is in law school currently. She's almost done with that. Not gonna lie, we probably FaceTime or talk on the phone 5 times a day minimum. I love being social. I really like being out with friends, whether that's at a house or a bar or restaurant. I love networking, just good conversation, and in general, being around people. At the same time, I absolutely love being alone. So I need a good night in by myself at least every couple of days to cook, maybe catch up with friends on the phone, watch trashy TV, read, whatever it is, but just zen out in my apartment. That's like one of my favorite things, just as much as being out with friends. I love being active. That is obviously not a surprise given my career, but I love running. That is something that has really shaped my career path, of course, but also just my relationship with my dad. We've gotten really close because of running, and I've really tested the waters of my own willpower, motivation, perseverance through running. So lots of racing, lots of training has kind of bled through my whole life as one of my absolute foundational pieces. I wanted to start this channel because my favorite thing in the world is hard work. And that's because I've watched it work wonders on people's psyches, daily lives, general positivity, and honestly being able to achieve things you never thought you could. I wanted to make something that helped other people believe that even average people or people who don't really categorize themselves as any one thing can accomplish things that will lead to even bigger accomplishments. One of my biggest inspirations in the world is David Goggins. He is this really hardwired mind, ex-Navy SEAL, crazy ultra athlete. He makes these videos where he's basically yelling speeches at you while he's doing pull-ups or running or push-ups or whatever. And this isn't always the way that people like to be communicated with. For me, it resonated really strong. I love how he talks to us. I love how real he is. And I love what he's done for people everywhere. I'm part of a big Facebook group of all the people who have read his book, Can't Hurt Me. And I've watched the craziest transformation stories happen through that. I wanted to have an outlet for my advice to people based on what I've seen in the gym, personal training, teaching people how to run, as well as just in life what I've noticed and what's worked for me as far as navigating times where I didn't believe in myself or wanted to make a big transition but didn't know if I had the confidence to do so. I don't plan on making this big preachy motivational channel where I just kind of spit speeches at you. I want to show you real life, my day-to-day activities, what I do. I want to show you challenges I take on, races I sign up for, and how the training goes for that. And more than anything, I want to share simple messages that help kickstart your day, your week, to make you want to do a little better and hopefully take a big chance on something that you might not otherwise have taken, because that's what people like David Goggins have done for me, and I want to do that with you guys. Outside of that, I want to tell you that I'm a really balanced person. I love fitness, but it doesn't run my life. I can have a drink with a friend. I can sleep in on a Saturday morning, but I can also go work out really hard and come home and eat a healthy meal. So those things in balance have really helped me find myself, and I hope that they do for you as well. I can't wait to make more videos for this channel. I'm super excited to be doing this and taking a chance. And if it's a massive fail, at least I tried. So I will see you guys in my next video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will catch you another day.